But let me tell you a story. You guys have to bear with me because there is actually a point in what I'm trying to say. So last term, in the middle of exam season, so like in May, I went speed dating for the first time. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my room, welcome back to Late Night Talks with Jessie. And I've truly stuck to theme because it was on my to-do list to film this video in the morning and it's now 11 p.m. at night, but I think the idea of this is for it to be cozy, for it to be comfortable, for it to be put on in the background as you're cleaning your room, as you're doing your skincare routine, and for you to have something to keep you up at night, because now I have given you an existential crisis. So last term, in the middle of exam season, so like in May, I went speed dating for the first time. Okay, nothing came of it. I'm still single as fuck, but nothing romantic came of it, but it gave me a lot to think about. And so before you go speed dating, usually the people organizing the speed date ask you to come up with questions. And in true Jessie fashion, I was like, I cannot be the girl with the boring questions. You know what? Even if they're not leaving with my number, they're going to be left with an impression. They are going to think, wow, she's so cool and she's so out there, which is so ironic because I'm trying to rebrand as an introvert for 2024. Anyway, so one of my questions on the speed date seems like such a basic question, but it sparked so many interesting conversations. And the question was, what did you want to be when you were younger? So sit, pause this video, maybe think about it. And while picking this question and practicing in the mirror my answers, for the speed date and trying to pick the coolest answer possible, I actually sat and thought for a really long time some of the dreams I had as a kid and how much that's changed. When I was a kid, okay, there's been so many, obviously, like, everybody's had that phase where they wanted to be like on Disney Channel and they wanted to be an actor and they wanted to be a musician. So I'm only going to tell you from like the age of 12 onwards, because I think those dreams came from serious places. So one of my biggest dreams, and I think it's still a massive dream on mine, is to become an author. I love reading. If you couldn't tell by my channel and my TikTok and my Instagram, and if you've ever met me in real life, all I talk about and just my vibes. She reads too many books. Too many fiction books, not non-fiction books. You read too many fiction books, your head is up in the cloud vibes. And I really wanted to be an author because I wanted to be able to recreate that experience for other people. That feeling that you're not in your head anymore and you've just been transported to another place and you're feeling all of the emotions of the protagonist and the main character, and you're crying because your favorite character has died, and you're laughing because, somebody has said funny, and like your heart is warmed. What's the verb of the heart warm? Anyway, your heart is warmed by everything. And so I, for a really long time, wanted to be an author, and I still think I kind of do. I just don't have the confidence to write, but that's for the later part in the video. So that was one of them, and I would write stories all the time, and I'd do it for fun. I'd show my teachers in school, I'd show my dad, I'd write my friends. I think one book, I remember writing a whole novel as a kid. It was 75 chapters long, and it was called What's Up Orange Soda, and I was just following like this group of friends and this girl conveniently named Jessica, and her journey to becoming a fashion designer. I wrote another one called Midnight Blue about this girl who was trying to get over her parents, surviving divorce. Really heavy topics for a child, but I used to read Jacqueline Wilson as a kid, and I feel like Jacqueline Wilson, some of the content in those books are really heavy, and I think the books I wrote mirrored that. So I moved on from wanting to write books, but also to be able to translate some form of creativity. And so I had this cool notebook, and I remember because my friend at the time, Ashley, got it for me, and it was like pink and it had like little clouds on it. And in that notebook was episode ideas. Like I had a show, I had all of the characters, like so much detail about the characters, their birthday, the languages they spoke, their star sign, their personality traits, their flaws. Like it was like 3 pages of just like, like a wiki page for a character. That is what that book was like. And I remember there was one time that my friend, Daniel, got his hands on the book and he was reading through it. And at first he like laughed at me and he was like, oh, this is so silly. And I was so confident. I said, you will not be laughing when you're watching my TV show in 15, 20 years time, because it's amazing. And in the end, he kind of became a little bit invested in the plot. And I would sit and talk to people about it for hours because I genuinely believed my characters and my storylines were so good and were so powerful, and I would defend it to the ends of the earth. I really wanted to be a diplomat. That was when I started to become very politically aware. And so I was thinking, okay, I love talking. Obviously, as of now, the 2024 rebrand is coming. And at the time, I was learning how to speak French and also learning how to speak Korean. I am not fluent in any of those languages, so you can see how that goes. And I really wanted to make a difference. I think that was the point in my life where I realized, okay, you know, I can have fun and write books, and I love music. I'm a musician. I play the piano, I play the flute, I play in lots of bands, I love arranging music. That was a point where I was like, I don't really want to do the music thing anymore. I don't want to pursue it as a career. Like, those are things I love and I enjoy and give me fulfillment, but I want my job to be something that gives back into the world. And so I wanted to be a diplomat. But at that time, somebody told me, I can't remember. Okay, I love my auntie to bits. I remember saying I wanted to be a diplomat in my auntie's house, and then she told me, you'll die. Like, they'll send you to some foreign country and you'll get killed at the age of 25. Don't be a diplomat. And it really embedded in my head. So I actually came from a great place because that's what she understood of the career. So fast forward to my speed date, and I was telling these people I wanted to be an international superstar when I was 7, blah, 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 because that was my cool answer. And I asked them, like, hey, like, what did you want to be? And people give me, I wanted to be a rock star. I wanted to be, you know, a race car driver. And people were giving me all of these cool answers. Bear in mind, I go to Cambridge, right? Not to toot my own horn, but there is a point. This is one of the best institutions in the world, and it's self-proclaimed to produce some of the greatest minds of our generations. Like, really and truly, if you're thinking of a uni where people who are supposed to be creating and dreaming and have like the highest aspirations for themselves are gonna be, it should be at Cambridge, right? And I'm like, and when we came to the question of what do you want to do now, low key, my heart kind of broke. It was like, oh, I don't really know, like, I'll probably end up going into finance like everybody else. Oh, I'll probably end up going into consulting like everybody else. Like, everybody gave me quite streamlined answers. Like, I don't know, like, I'm just trying to get through my degree. And I was like, when did that switch happen? Because I gave them the exact same answer. I was like, I don't really know. Maybe I'll sell my soul to finance. Like, and it made me wonder after I left, like, when did I come from this person that had like a million dreams to like somebody who was just shrugging their shoulders, crying in the library, going to lectures, not really seeing a point in anything. And like, when people ask me what I want to do, there's no longer a smile in my face and I get excited and giddy, ready to defend my dream. It's a resigned sigh. It's a sigh of, oh my God, I hate this question, you know? Oh my God, like, whatever. And there's somebody that did stand out to me in the speed date, not because there was any romantic inclinations between us, but we both did natural sciences, but he was a physicist. And I remember asking him this question. I was like, okay, like, what do you want to do? And he was like, oh, I don't know, probably finance, consulting or whatever. And then I was like, okay, but like, if you could really do anything in the world, because at this point he was my last speed date. I was like, if you could do anything in the world, what would you do? And he said, hand on heart, I just really want to be a rock star. And I was like, really? And I was like, do you play any instruments? Like, yeah. And we got into the whole conversation and he had like the biggest smile on his face and he was so flipping excited. And I was like, that is the joy and the passion that I want from people. I really do hope that he achieves his dreams, but not even in the case of like, you know, he makes lots of money and becomes successful, but even if he ends up becoming a teacher or a consultant or in finance or research, you can tell he's the type of person to never let his passion go and never let his spark die. And in a place like Cambridge, this pinnacle of academic excellence, that is so rare. And I sit and I think, like, this pursuit of academic excellence that I've been on, and you know, now I'm in this amazing institution and I'm doing this fucking hard degree, right? And I'm crying and bawling my eyes out and I don't know where I want to go in life and I don't know what I want to do, which I think is completely okay. But I want to be able to think about something and light up when I hear it. And I don't really know what happened. I feel like lots of people feel this way, that once they start doing their degree or a degree apprenticeship or any kind, they become super jaded. And I don't think it's because they're faced with reality, contrary to what some people believe. I just think that the environment discourages people to think outside of the box and to dream big. you come into uni and you're just pushed into this little treadmill. Rat mill? What the fuck is a rat mill, Jessie? This rat mill, and you're like running as fast as you can, and then somebody's like, you should probably get an internship. You should really get an internship. It's a great experience. Finance internships pay a lot of money. It's really great to have money so you have things to do over the summer. Yeah, do this. Oh, join this club because it looks really great on your CV. Oh, okay, like you really need to do well in this lecture course because employers look at this lecture course. And you're doing the lectures and you're like, oh my God, this doesn't make sense. But then we're 3 or 4 lectures behind, and you're like, you know what, just like memorize it so you do well to pass your exams. And over the course of 2 years, you just kind of like, you have a moment and you sit back and you're like, whoa, like what am I doing? I like to provide a little bit of a remedy at the end of the videos, and I like to make people think like, okay, after that conversation I had at the speed date, I was kind of thinking, okay, like what is my dream? Like what, like in an ideal world without any worries about money or trouble, like what do I really, really want to do? And the answer was, I don't know, but I was so comfortable in that answer. My goal this year is to do well so I can do my master's, but it's to also find the joy and the love I had for chemistry or my degree or sciences or creating new things, or find the joy in something that I had when I was, 16, 17, before I came to uni, to be honest. And so I've come up with a little bit of a list of things that I'm going to try and do specifically in 2024 to kind of bring passion back, because what is the point of living a life and living life, just like from checkpoint to checkpoint to checkpoint, a checkpoint that's not even defined by yourself. And that's not saying I think you should quit your degree and, go backpacking in Hawaii or something. No, obviously be responsible, be smart. But there are small ways where you can start exploring your passions again. Like we're fucking 20, okay? You may be 30 watching this video. I don't know how old you are. If you're younger than my dad, like you have so much life left, okay? My dad is my standard for age. If you're older than my dad, you're old. If you're younger than my dad, you're young. Do you get what I mean? Anyway, like your life doesn't stop here. Like you have so much life to live and so much life to offer. If you're doing a job and you hate it, what are you doing outside of your job that can bring you joy and happiness in your life, That's the life of 2024 I want to live. So for example, number one of the things I'm doing is exploring hobbies without feeling the need that I need to lead anywhere. So I feel like a lot of the times in the past, a lot of my hobbies had to be something. So I would practice loads of piano songs in aims to perform it, and so people can give me recognition for it. I would write stories to give to people so I can gain recognition for writing that stories. And so my first tip is to find a hobby that's not performative, that's not something for anybody else, that's not something, and I guess you can always ask for feedback to improve, but it's a hobby just for you to enjoy. And that could be pottery, it could be reading books, it could be writing essays on the books that you've read, it could be drawing, it could be painting, it could be a sport that you've always wanted to try. Select a hobby and just allow it to exist. It doesn't have to get you to a certain destination, and it doesn't have to get you to a certain checkpoint, but it can just be something that just exists in your life, and you can come back to when you need that creative spark fed and when you need that joy, relit and, being alive. Number two, I personally think that you guys should be documenting your lives a little bit more. I think I'm so grateful to be able, because I found that small notebook the other day, and to be able to go through and read and see how inspired and see my horrible stories that I wrote, but how happy I was when I wrote it. Being able to look back in the moments of, darkness and, sadness and depression or whatever, when you feel a little less inspired, is inspiring in itself. So I recommend to do these 2 things. And yeah, I think that is all that I kind of want to say for this video. Guys, another rambly video. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys find joy in the little things and start to find ways to enjoy your life if you're not, especially if you are a uni student. This is really and truly the beginning. Like 20 is the new 10 and 30 is the new 20 and so on and so forth. Life is so short, and I know it becomes easy to get wrapped up in things that the world wants us to do and things that we need to do, rightfully so. But I think it's really important to recognize that at the end of the day, this is going to be so morbid. I'm so sorry. When you lie down on your deathbed and like you look around at all the things in your life, half of the time you're going to remember the people that you spent it with, the memories that you made, and all of the things that bring you joy. yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. The next video is going to be a vlog. Before I finish up, just because this has been laying heavy on my heart, and hopefully is laying heavy on your heart too, I think it's such a privilege right now, especially to be able to be speaking about joy and finding things that I like, and, you know, being at Cambridge and being safe and in a warm house and in a warm home, and to be doing all of those things when there are people in Palestine who are losing their lives and living in fear and cowering every single day. And so if the bare minimum you can do is just like Google it, read articles, share those articles, have those conversations, learn more about politicians, write letters to your politicians. There's so much you can do from the space of your own home. And yeah, it just didn't feel right to like make this kind of video without saying anything about it, because I genuinely think that's so selfish. But yeah, I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I'll see you guys next week. This is the last video you're going to see in this room in 2023. Because next time I'll be here, it'll be the next academic year. So anyway, yes. Bye, guys.